This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
Welcome to the Stop and Listen podcast. I'm your host, Jamie. Good evening. Are you all still thrilled? I am thrilled. I am truly thrilled. This RFK Jr. joining Trump, the movement, because see, that's the thing. This isn't just Trump, because it can't die when Trump dies. And that's what they were hoping on, clearly. You put him in prison, you get him not to run. Like, the movement, the populist movement, us demanding just to stop being poisoned and stolen from and sent to die. They wanted that movement to die. I mean, Obama did it with the IRS, but see, the Tea Party didn't have a face. Trump was a face. Because he's not even conservative. It's crazy. And Bobby Kennedy's not conservative. I mean, I don't know. Like, but it's like the health stuff, it doesn't matter. Left wing, right wing, communist, free marketist. But it's incredible. So I'm just over the moon. The House Judiciary GOP released some documents that we're not going to. Well, we can act like we're reading them. Should I bring them up, or should I just read the summary?
Let's go. I'm bored. Let's go.
Okay. But we'll just do the really lazy thing and just read the simple post. Biden-Harris administration pressured Facebook to censor Americans. Facebook censored Americans. Facebook throttled the Hunter Biden laptop story. So, like, they admitted that, and like the COVID stuff, they would not allow even like memes and just funny stuff on COVID. They were censoring. And now Zuckerberg saying he regrets his actions. That's neat. I'm glad he does, or maybe hopefully he does. I mean, he could actually be genuinely changing. He could actually not have his head in the clouds and see what's happening to this country, you know. And yes, I'm not going to edit that out. I don't know. There was like two different words right there, but we're just going to roll with it. But, I wish we lived in a world where this was like front page for several days. Because no one cares. Really. Like, because the people on the right know this, and the people on the left don't give a shit. Now, I mean, if you can influence some of those moms, that's how you can move mountains, I guess. I mean, think about it in this country. I mean, if you really want to get, think about this. Women couldn't even vote, and they were able to make alcohol illegal. In the United States, there was a constitutional amendment to make alcohol illegal, and it was completely pushed and executed by women who didn't even have the right to vote. Yes, and women today in 2024 are oppressed. Believe that.
Women be shopping, baby. Women be shopping. Damn, you can't stop a woman from shopping, baby.
I'm going to go back, and I haven't read this yet. I heard like a couple lines from it on a podcast. R.F. Kennedy Jr., Bobby Kennedy, R.F. Kennedy Jr. is what I just said. I'm going to like call him so many different things. And there is like legitimately like 10 different ways you could say the name. What MAGA really means. The phrase has troubled liberals who think it's a call for a return to an America before civil rights, gay rights, and women's rights. Now, that's very understandable. But I'm fairly certain Trump just said that one of the many, 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 many things he says. And people liked it, glammed onto it. And he realized, there's my ad campaign. MAGA. It didn't mean shit. I mean, and see, they said he was racist, and then that, right? I mean, so if you're kind of got a busy life, you're ignorant, it doesn't really, you don't pay that attention to the news. I kind of envy those people. Like, if you're told that this guy is actually a huge racist and he wants to make America great again, well, he is talking about taking away our rights. I mean, what else could make America great again mean if you're a big racist? See, if they can convince people of the first thing, and they can say, see, he's taking away your rights. Like, man, it's a wild, wild ride we're in for.
Well, I'm all broken up about that man's rights.
You should be.
But I have a more generous interpretation, one that is truer to my experience of Donald Trump as he is today. Make America Great Again recalls nation brimming with vitality, with a can-do spirit, with hope and a belief in itself. It was an America that was beginning to confront its darker shadows. It could acknowledge the injustice in its past and present, yet at the same time could celebrate its successes. It was a nation of broad prosperity, the world's most vibrant middle class, and an idealistic belief, though not consistently applied, in freedom, justice, and democracy. It was a nation that led the world in innovation, productivity, and technology. And it was the healthiest country in the world. I've talked to many Trump supporters. I've talked with his inner circle. I've talked to the man himself. This is the America they want to restore. And he's right. Brilliantly put. The 70s and 80s. I think he actually said 70s somewhere in some interview. But 70s and 80s, yeah. Right. Like that makes a lot of sense, 8.2 million views. So, this is like, and it doesn't bother me at all. If he's being devious, if he's being completely self-serving, if he did call the Kamala Harris campaign and ask for a job, yes, he's being completely self-serving, but that could still help American people. So, take the good with the bad. I don't believe it. I will not believe it unless he says it himself. I don't believe it. Because he could run again. Maybe he was as a Democrat. Maybe he was a Republican. Who knows? Doubt it. But or he took this We the People party. He started it, and again, so stopping it now doesn't mean it ends permanently. What if he picks it up again in 4 years? And what if this time his running mate is a co-worker with the Trump administration, Tulsi Gabbard? Because I'm sure he asked her the first time, and she was holding out for Trump. That's what I believed. I was hoping she would go with Trump.
And if I'm going to have somebody tell me about women, it isn't going to be you.
And what if they ran? That would be awesome. I mean, that would be a legit third party that had balls right out the gate. I mean, that could be pretty basically a restoration of what they think of as the Democratic Party for liberty and taking care of people. And I wouldn't want to see those Supreme Court justices, but still. And as said earlier, I'm the way I feel like Robert Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard just did it, just calling him President Trump, giving him that respect, where so many other people, the left-wing news, the left-wing communists reading the news that they're told to read, I'm guessing, because I see tweets by different like NBC and Politico and be like the exact same headlines. Like J.D. Vance, I seen several tweets by different organizations, almost word for word the same about J.D. Vance. I don't want to sit here and watch a speech by her. Because, folks, I am trying to move quickly.
Now come, we must hurry.
Clint Russell, I think he's big in the Libertarian Party. Is he? And do I follow him? Liberty Lockdown, I must follow him already. Okay. So, Kennedy did an interview with Tucker Carlson that I'll be watching or listening to tomorrow. That'll be exciting.
Because I am confident that his first task will be to do the work to walk us back from the brink of war. We cannot be prosperous unless we are at peace. And we can't live free as long as we have a government that is retaliating against its political opponents and undermining our civil liberties, weaponizing our very institutions against those they deem as a threat. Kamala Harris has done this over the last 3.5 years. She won't hesitate to continue that if she is elected as president. President Trump has been their first and foremost target in this because they don't want us as voters to even have the option to vote for him. I've been their most recent target, added to a secret domestic terror watch list after exposing the truth about what kind of dangers we would face if Kamala Harris is elected as president. We as Americans must stand together to reject this anti-freedom culture of political retaliation and abuse of power. We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future. I am proud to stand here before you today, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent.
I mean, think of the timing. So, like Wednesday and the DNC, it started leaking out that RFK may quit and endorse Trump. Thursday, it wraps. They have to lie about Beyonce or Taylor Swift being there to get the numbers up for Kamala Harris. And Friday, he drops out and endorses Trump, right? And then had the whole weekend buzzing over that. And then Monday, now RFK was saying that there's going to be more additions to this team, to this unity ticket. I thought he may have been implying her, but I already kind of had her baked in. Now, she hasn't been around as much lately, but for a good several months, she was going on almost every podcast and saying she would be accept a VP pick. That's why I wanted her to be the VP pick. But now she's back. But like Monday, you bring it back. Like Monday, now you got her. Now you're in the news again with Tulsi Gabbard. I think he's going to just be cranking this entire time if they don't lock him up in a month. That's possible. It's possible. And then we very well may never see him again if he's put away in prison. I mean, it'll be different. He'll be segregated. Like, they're going to build a trailer kind of in the yard, apparently, something like that.
Dirty, rotten traitor.
I mean, they almost blew his head off on live TV. Like, I mean, behind some fences with a lot of criminals.
And if you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do, I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There's already been talk. I mean, there's been talk on Twitter. Where could she be at in the cabinet? I mean, obviously, I said I've been rooting for her as VP. I certainly like J.D. Vance very much. I still think she probably would have been a better pick because I think she could have nearly matched what he does on the morning shows, but she wouldn't have had to have been so sharp as he is on the morning shows. But I want to mix it up. She doesn't want war. We don't want war. We're the anti-war party. Secretary of State, Tulsi Gabbard. Secretary of State, Tulsi Gabbard. There was I seen some stuff on Twitter, like maybe Secretary of Defense. I wouldn't be upset about that. Secretary of State. Make the Secretary of State. Oh, goodness gracious. This is a good time to be an American, I think. Just that image of them shaking hands on stage, like, I got to create something because there's been such powerful images. But, okay, so... Oh, that's what I did wrong. Okay. So Keith Olbermann, psychopath. I think he used to be on MSNBC or CNN or something, ESPN. Keith Olbermann tweets, "To my old friend Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you're a fucking anti-American disaster." RFK says you were never my friend. Oh, that's so beautiful.
We'll always be friends. Can't nobody stop that.
He said I don't know, Joe Manchin would be an interesting addition, but he parroted the weird stuff, so screw him. So I maybe this is it. I mean, he doesn't want to go too far with inclusion and hurt the brand. Tulsi certainly raises the brand and does more to encourage Joe Rogan to maybe make a positive difference. I don't know more liberals, call them liberals in this case, he could bring in. So the Krasenstein brothers, if you want to just hate somebody, they're a good follow. And he says, if Trump is elected president, every American will be taxed up to 99% of their income. If you want more cash and less tax, vote Harris. And I sent that to a friend. I'm like, this clown is actually claiming that. And then I looked at it again. And he, 2 sentences long, and he got me in the first sentence. And he said, just like Trump's tweet claiming that Harris will tax you 80%, this is backed by nothing other than BS. Well, he's wrong on that second one, but yeah, okay, so he made up that 99% thing, and it did. It got me. It totally got me. But if you include, she wants to increase taxes and capital gains taxes and like the unrealized gain taxes. If you include that, then yeah, I think 80% is certainly possible. And my attorney general in Missouri, Andrew Bailey, maybe he'll be the attorney general for Trump or somebody else in the future. I'm okay with him sticking around Missouri for the time being. He put simply, shall not be infringed. God bless you, Andrew Bailey. So, 21 minutes. I'm getting better, folks. I went with that 15-minute podcast. I'll let this down, and this will be about 18 minutes probably. So, this is so cool. Our health. I wanted this. This is such a fantasy for me, honestly. I talked about it in another podcast. And I never believed it would ever be possible for these two to link arms. And because we need him. We need Bobby, and we need him to fight for our health. But I didn't think about it through my goal of shrinking the government and taking on, the deep state, the machine. I like to refer to the machine himself. I like to refer to it as machine. But anyway, by fighting for our health, you can probably take down the FDA and the USDA significantly. Make them have far less influence over our lives. And you're still attacking the machine that way, but not in a partisan manner, really. And then from there, you take on Big Pharma, and that gets people healthier. And then it also takes out CNN and MSNBC, because 70% of their ads, at least apparently, are by Big Pharma. Making people think they're sick. It's a great time to be an American, I think. We can just get to November and move on. And no shenanigans. No shenanigans. The left are that sick. Like, obviously Trump is not what they're so afraid. They are afraid of him taking down the deep state. How are they going to allow him to actually admit the U.S. government killed a president? A branch of the government killed the president. They will have to, if it is proven that what Bobby has been saying, that the CIA killed his father and uncle, or at least uncle, if that is released, how can that agency continue to be funded? But I've heard over and over everywhere that they have they've set up operations to have their own money supplies. So, defunding them may not really hurt. And then you'd have to call them a terrorist organization, because they're not going to stop. This shit's like a movie, folks. Stay tuned. Now I've been going, now it's 25 minutes. Now I'm not going to be able to edit this down that much. And I've failed again at making a short episode. See you next time, folks. God bless.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
This war stops now.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!